Hey, how's it going, everyone? Rashed here, and I'm with Christion Kirkley. Today we're starting a very new thing that we're trying to do on social media, which is a podcast. This podcast is going to be about family, faith, fitness, and finance. We got a lot of things to talk about. We're going to give you guys a backstory on us in this video. It's going to be a lot of great things, so you guys stay tuned for it. So first, let's just go ahead and get started with an introduction. So Christion, tell us about yourself, because we're the hosts of your channel. You guys want to know about us. So tell me about yourself, man. How did you go on your entrepreneur journey and just everything like that? Tell me all about you.
Yeah, first of all, that was a really good introduction.
Thanks, bro.
I was just want to say. So my name's Christion Kirkley. I'm originally from Pensacola, Florida. Moved to Houston, Texas whenever I was 7. Then after that, I moved to Tennessee with my grandma. Grew up there in a real small town called Pulaski, Tennessee. Real small. You're not missing out if you don't visit. But it was too small for me. So I was like, I want to see the world. I've always been super fascinated in how things work, different cultures. And so I joined the Navy whenever I was 18. I had no idea what I wanted to do. So I went in and I was technically undesignated. So I didn't have a job technically. I just put my foot in the door, right?
Okay.
And I get into boot camp and, shave my head, all that crazy stuff. And we go into the medical area and we're doing our examinations.
Yeah.
And we're doing the part where they're determining your vision. And there's this book with a bunch of dots on it. And everyone's reading out numbers, passing through the line. And it gets to me and I'm like, what numbers? What are you talking about? And they're like, come on, man, quit messing with us. You got it. What numbers do you see? And I'm just like, I don't see any numbers. They're like, all right, step aside. So they pull me aside. They tell me that I have red-green color deficiency.
Okay.
And as undesignated in the Navy, you are part of the team that drives the ship. Well, they used a red-green system. There's red-green lights. I couldn't drive the ship or I would have crashed it.
Right.
So I'm all depressed. I'm thinking, I'm going to get sent back to Tennessee.
Right.
And, and then I'm picking my job. They let me pick my job, and some guy comes in there. And he's like, I'm surprised you didn't pick steelworkers. CBs are an interesting community. I'm like, CBs? I think my granddad worked with the CBs, my great-granddad.
Right.
So I picked steelworker, got out, learned how to weld, got out of boot camp, learned how to weld in the Navy. They sent me to Gulfport, Mississippi, which is only a few hours from home. And I joined to see the world, and they sent me to Mississippi.
Right.
But I didn't care. I was still super excited. I went to New Orleans. And then after that, I got stationed in California, Port Hueneme.
Okay.
Got to do deployments all over the Pacific Ocean, Guam, Japan. Got to see all of Japan. Had an awesome time over there. I really enjoyed the military, but it was a very structured society.
It is structured, yeah.
And I have a very entrepreneurial spirit, and I want to pursue financial freedom. Right. And it's doable in the military, but I feel like the military kind of put a cap on me in that sense. It was a very good head start. I have a lot of really good benefits and experiences from the military, but I like being out of the military now because I have a lot more freedom to do what I want. Right. Essentially. But yeah, I got out in 2022. I'm married. My wife, she's a nurse at Huntsville Hospital. Okay. We both do Airbnb, churro. I'm a banker at JP Morgan Chase, and my goal is to eventually manage money myself and run my own fund. Wow. And create financial freedom, for myself and my family, and teach others also how to create financial freedom for themselves.
That's good, bro. Like I said, that's a great story, man. And just me being around you, bro, I can definitely tell, bro, you're definitely on the right path and everything like that. Yeah, so guys, I'm gonna dive into my story a little bit, so tell you guys where I came from and all that. So I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia. I stayed there from all the way when I was a baby to maybe around 5th grade. So I didn't have the most stable family situation. I had the single mom thing because my dad, when I was staying in Atlanta, my mom and my dad, they was staying together, they were married and all that. After, relationships go south and all that, we ended up moving, long story short, from Atlanta to a place called Livingston, Alabama. Like he said about Pulaski, Tennessee, you don't want to go down there. You're not missing out. It's the trenches now.
Trenches.
People cool down there, but it's just not what I would typically just like to live in. That's not my ideal situation. So yeah, I was down there from 5th grade. So we honestly could technically say I grew up majority. 'Cause I went from kid to adult down there, so I grew up down there for a pretty good bit. But I still say I'm from Atlanta, man. That's better. Yeah. I wouldn't tell nobody I'm from that city.
Yeah.
But yeah, so me living down there, it was pretty cool. It was decent. Like I said, I had some good friends I still talk to now. But as far as just me always having that city mindset in my head, me looking at that compared to somewhere like Atlanta and all that, and like opportunity wise, no opportunities down there. That's why I had to like leave and eventually like go to a better spot. Mm-hmm. So the reason I chose to come to Huntsville was because after I graduated high school, I really wanted to like, you know, get out the house mainly. Like, I didn't like, I love my mom, but at the same time, like, you know, staying with your parents, it's different than you like staying with yourself and getting your own authority and being able to make your own moves and everything without people just, you know, watching you, worried about what you're doing all the time. So I wanted to try the college thing. So I did go to Alabama A&M for a little minute. I was going for mechanical engineering, but it was at a time that I did not know what student debt was. So I just thought, okay, we just enroll in school, we be straight, you know, it's all gravy and smooth. But then I realized once I got in, I was like, okay, I got this entrepreneur mindset for one. And the more I go here, the more the debt start ticking. And then it wasn't really something I wanted to do because I'm just the 9-to-5 grind. I mean, it's money to be made. I'm not, you know, saying anything bad about the 9-to-5 grind, but in my personal opinion, I just feel like the 9-to-5 grind, that ain't what I want to do long term. So like me getting a degree and me having a job like that, I feel like I'll be miserable. I do. Like if I feel like I gotta put in 90 hours a week just to make 100 or 150 grand, that ain't it. I'd rather work for myself and make the same amount of money and be less stressed. So that led me, in short, to like, you know, leaving college and everything like that. It was a hard decision. Like, it really was. Like, I had to like, it was scary just going out here in the world like that. So I ended up leaving college. I got my real estate license, and ever since then, that's what I have been doing. I've been in the business for maybe close to a year now, so it's been going pretty good. Like I said, I met a lot of great connections, me going to different events and everything like that. So my thing right now is I want to become financially free. I want to build a real estate empire, maybe one day even own my own brokerage and have people work for me and doing things like that. So we're going to see where that goes in the future. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. So Christion, anything that you feel like should be discussed today? Like, because basically we're giving them an overview of what our podcast is. You know, it's faith, fitness, finance, and family. Yeah. So anything you feel like has been going on right now you want to discuss, we can talk about. We're all open.
Yeah. I mean, shoot. I mean, we could just start off with the 4 F's. So
yeah, what the 4 F stands for, because some people might not even understand what the 4 F stands for. We say it, but you know, to go in depth on it. I feel like those are like some of the most important principles that you should have in your life. Like, you really do need all 4 of those. Like, if you build your foundation on that, I feel like you'll have a better time versus you building it on some stuff that's gonna just hinder you, because like I said, you need the family, you need the finances, you need the fitness, and what's the other one?
Faith.
You need the faith. Yeah.
You
need all that. Yeah.
And in order, mine in priority is faith, family, fitness, finance.
And then also, I know one time you mentioned it's interchangeable, right?
It can be. So in terms of like priorities, I would say. So like for example, if you really got to buckle down and, you know, get this sale for this property or something, you might have to skip the gym that morning. You might have to skip that workout. But I mean, you're gonna have to make it up on the back end next week once you get the sale, though.
Right.
So, you know, like in terms of priorities, I would say. But every time I try to take faith away as the number 1 priority, then it's like trying to build a house in the sand.
Right.
You know. So. And
faith is definitely important, because well, guys. By the time you see this video, I probably would already have made this transition, but I am getting baptized tomorrow.
Yeah,
so
awesome. Congrats.
Yeah, faith is a big, important part. And like when I was younger, like I really didn't take it seriously. Like, you know, I'm pretty sure you probably had the same experience like I had. You know, when you're younger, you're going to like church and things like that. You just really don't want to be there, because you know you're going with the adults. So so you don't know what it's talking about, and it's just like, you're just like, man, I gotta sit here for like 4 hours and just sit in the same spot.
4 hours,
in the same spot.
That's at Atlanta church right there. 4 hours.
Yeah, it's different. Like, you be in there.
Yeah, but y'all would have food and stuff.
Yeah, we'll have food and stuff, so you be eating afterward. But during just sitting for a minute, you be like, oh man. But once I got older, I realized how important like it is just to have like a strong foundation, because that really can everything that you do, it's a good way to do stuff and a bad way to do stuff. If you don't have no moral compass to live your life, you're gonna do it the bad way, and doing it the bad way does not help you. You realize that every time you start doing so much bad, you just end up crashing and burning more and more. Then you just fall down at some point. And I feel like once you if you got a higher power to look up to, like I said, whatever you got to believe in, that everybody got their own thing. But I feel like once you get the higher power in your life, you got a moral compass, you'll do things the right way, and you'll surround yourself with people that do things the right way. That's like right now, I feel like the best thing I've done is surround myself with people that do believe like in the same philosophies I believe in, and believe in the way I do, because that in turn helped me stay sharp and helped me stay on point and everything like that. You want to elaborate on that? Like, what's the importance of like just having like a strong friend group and connections around you that, do the same things you do?
I would say that you are definitely who you hang out with.
Yeah.
You're the sum of who you hang out with.
So 5 friends you hang with.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So a lot of people said, I heard a quote one time, it's like, show me your friend group and I'll show you your future. It's like, if you're crushing it and let's say you move, let's use an example, you move from, let's say, California or New York and you're making 6 figures, and let's say you move to Texas or somewhere, and you move to Texas and you're hanging out with people that are all making minimum wage and partying every weekend and not taking their ethics and values and morals seriously and all this stuff, well, I almost guarantee that person, their lifestyle is going to deteriorate because that's the people that they're surrounding themselves with. But let's say you take someone that is making minimum wage and not living the best life, and you move them to a new area, or you don't even got to move. You just say they just cut off their old people and they start surrounding themselves with positive people who are striving towards the life that they want. Well, I'm almost guaranteed that those people, that person that is now surrounding themselves with new people that are striving, that person is going to become a better person over time.
Yeah, that makes sense to me, because I feel the exact same way. Like, if you surround yourself with people that are doing positively, like I said, your life will just like automatically just start going up. Because like, just think about it, like, let's say you were like partying and stuff all the time, and like, I'm pretty sure if you guys party, like, if you be around people that party, you're more likely to party more, because like, say somebody hit you up, hey man, let's go to the club and all that. But at the same time, if you know, like, okay, say you're trying to start your business, every time they call you just to go out, and then if you hang with those people, is that hindering you? Because you'll start choosing that, like, oh yeah, well, I do need to do this business thing, but I want to spend time with my friends. And you don't want to be like that towards your friends. You're going to hang with them. And that just puts you further back. But it's going to take you to realize that, though. Like, can't nobody realize that for you but you. That's the same thing I had to do. Because, like, I was DJing. When I was DJing, man, like, every weekend. Honestly, it was a point I was, like, drinking alcohol every day, bro. Like, it was insane. Like, we was just partying, having fun. Like, it was fun in the moment. But looking back at it, I'm like, man, I wasted so much time just being around like that type of crowd all the time.
I would say it was a lesson.
It was a lesson, and that's a good thing that you said that, because things in life, I look at it as a lesson. I don't look at it like just like a straight fail. Like, it's a lesson. Like, everything that you do has a learning opportunity from it. Everything. I promise you. Like, if you do something bad, you gotta look at it from the standpoint, okay, what's the lesson I can find out of this? And it's like, one thing, like, if you do something bad, you'll learn not to do it again. So it's gonna be things you learn from it. But yeah, like, as far as on the DJing thing, like, me doing that all the time, and then like I said, like I told you, I always had the entrepreneur thing. I knew what I wanted to do. Like, that was just hindering me, because like, it was months I was doing that, and it was just like, it was fun. Like, once you get past the alcohol and all that, you start sitting like the room, you realize like you get your thoughts clear and everything. you be like, what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly how you be like every time. Like once I got to myself, like after me partying with everybody, putting on this persona to them, showing them like, okay, like once I got to myself, I was like, man,
what am I doing?
What am I doing, bro?
Dang.
And then like eventually I just got to the point where I said, no, I'm not doing this anymore. So I just stopped. Like I said, I was making like a couple $100, but it's a couple $100. It really don't make sense to me to just keep doing it for a couple $100. And I was like, man, I gotta just do something better. So that's when the real estate license came. That's when like me just getting around the right people. And like I said, me surrounding myself with like people like you, my mentor David Thomas, like people like that. That just honestly elevated me. And that's my suggestion to you guys. Like if you're not happy with you guys' situation, just don't feel bad for you just separating yourself from those people. Because I used to feel like that. I used to feel like, man, maybe they're gonna talk about me and forget it, bro. Like it's your life. It's not their life to live. If they really your friends, they'll be with you through any transition you want to do. They will. So yeah, guys, that's what I suggest you guys do on that note. So yeah, also what other? I know you tell me you do stock trading too. So I want you to discuss that, bro. Cause like that, I know that's stock trading is a thing that like I see some people do as a trend now and everything. I've seen all on Twitter and everything like that. But to have somebody here that actually does it and knows the game in it, how is it like hard to do? Is it like? Let's just discuss that and like, cause some people think it's the easy way out, like easy money. No, I don't think it's easy money. Like, cause when I hear like these option traders, they be on Twitter talking about like, oh yeah, man, like I didn't hit this play today, made $10,000. So yeah, I want you to discuss that and just like basically explain, like a little briefly on it, like talk about the market, everything like that, and how did you get into that, and like what's your biggest ups and all that in it, and go for it.
Yeah, I would say a lot of the times when people share those wins, that you got to think a lot of the times they don't share the losses.
True.
So that's the thing, they're trying to sell you this fake reality. Whenever a lot of those people who are bragging on the internet, they have lost a lot more than they've won. If you think about the real winners, like do you see like Warren Buffett or any of these big money managers out here like, yeah, man, I made this today.
Yeah, no, they never do it. You never see that. Yeah. They billionaires. You never see them do it.
Exactly. So I would say don't put anything into the market that you're not willing to lose. Start small. If you have to, start with a simulated account, so a paper account. Don't just, in my opinion, I would say don't only just trust your 401k because that is 100% stocks.
401k?
Yeah. So 401k start off usually at 100% stocks, right? You want to be diversified.
True.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Look at 2008.
Many
people just trusted their 401k and come 2008, they planned on retiring at 50. They're really good. Now you got to work another 15 years because people don't. In my opinion, I think ignorance is expensive. It's the most expensive thing you can do is deciding not to learn about financial literacy.
Right.
So I would say definitely learn the basics.
Yeah. So with financial literacy and everything like that, what do you recommend that people do to get like directly like into that? Like, do you recommend them reading certain books or anything?
Well, I would say
like if somebody don't know nothing.
So I knew nothing at one point, just like everybody else.
Yeah.
And how I started was there's a website called Investopedia. So Investopedia, and it's free. You can sign up for their email letter, and they'll send you a new term like every day. So like one day it might be like real estate, and the next day it might be like bonds, and the next day, saving, all these different things. And if I didn't have time to read it in the morning, I would just save it, and then I'd go back and I'd try to read it. And like over time, you'll slowly start to learn about all these different financial terms and things. And you can go on there, you hop on Investopedia for free. I mean, YouTube's great, YouTube University. There's so many ways to learn, but I think a lot of the times where people make the mistake is they put too much faith in society, and they think that society, the government, their employer, they think that these people have their best interests in mind.
No, they don't.
The thing is they could care less. A lot of your employer, the government, a lot of these people look at you as a pawn in their game. Unfortunately, that's just life. So the best thing that you can do is education. How you combat being taken advantage of, is by educating yourself.
True. That's one thing they can't take away from you, your education. They can take everything.
Yep.
It's like
your mindset, all that stuff. No one can take that from you. Mm-hmm. You know, so if you lose your job, that's okay. Well, if you've got sales skills, you've got marketing,
right?
There's the internet now. You can make money anywhere in the world with all of these skills.
Yeah.
You know, so I would say, learning financial literacy is probably the most important thing you can do. Not for the means of making money itself, but for the freedom that it buys you, and for the options that it gives you. You know, like I could care less about money. What I really love is traveling.
Yeah.
You know, the reason why I want to make money is so that I can travel.
Yeah, me too. I'm the same way. Like, love to just be out traveling and doing all that. That's one reason you got to make money to do that.
Plane tickets aren't free.
Plane tickets aren't free, guys.
You know?
Plane tickets aren't free.
So if you want to go out and see the world and do all these things, you know, you have to have resources. It's a tool. It's a tool in a toolkit. You know, one of the greatest lies is that money is evil, and money is the root of all evil.
No, it's not.
The love of money.
Yeah, the love is money is evil. Yeah.
People leave out the part that it actually says is the love of money is the root of all evil.
Yeah.
When, you know, if you manipulate and you contort things like that, if you just say money is the root of all evil, well, that's just now an excuse to be broke.
You're right.
I read in Matthew this morning.
Yeah.
There was a story where there was servants, and one servant was handed an amount of silver, and he multiplied it. And then the master said, "Well done, my good and faithful servant." And there was another servant that put that money into the ground, and pretty much he was scared of it. Think about this as the guy that, you know, doesn't do anything outside of his 9-to-5 job. He puts all of his money under his mattress, getting 0.001 interest, scared of the stock market. I had somebody tell me one time in a town that I grew up with in Pulaski that the stock market's like pissing in the wind, is what he told me. and he was trying to bet with me on an Alabama football game. I told him, I was like, "You the type of dude to bet on chicken fights." And I'm just like, bro, like, I don't even know where I was. Oh yeah, so you got one servant, he multiplied the money. Well done, my good and faithful servant.
Yeah.
You got the other servant, buried his money. Well, and this is red letters. Jesus told this story. In the kingdom of heaven, he said that essentially that the servant that, you know, multiplied the money, well done. And the reason why I say well done is because also after that story they say whatever you're given, you need to do something with it, essentially.
Yeah.
So even if you aren't given a whole lot, you need to do something with it. So that goes to giving too. If you make $2,000 a month,
right,
and you can only give $100 a month you go on stjude.com and you go on auto pay $20 a month. That is better than nothing.
That's better than nothing. I agree.
While you hold that thought, I'm actually gonna pull out the word. Yeah. Because I read that this morning. Yeah. And I feel like it's super relevant today because one of the biggest excuses is that, oh, I don't have enough money to give. Yeah. Okay, so Matthew 25:29. To those who use well what they are given, even more will be given, and they will have an abundance. But from those who do nothing, even what little they have will be taken away. Think about that.
That's great.
To those who use well what they are given, you could be a broke hobo with $20 in your pocket, but you see an orphan on the street and you go buy him a coat with your last $20. You best believe God's got you. If you believe in the word, well, Jesus tells you that he's got you right here.
Yeah, he got you right here.
So people that don't give, you're literally blocking yourself from blessings.
You're right.
And you shouldn't give just for blessings. You should give because it's the right thing to do. It's the flow of life.
Right.
Plants give, oxygen.
Everything
gives. Whenever you're not giving, you are going against the natural order of the universe. You know, it's a cycle. We're supposed to give. You know, it's like the abundance mindset versus scarcity mindset. What does that mean to you? And then I'll speak on what I think that means.
Abundance versus scarcity mindset?
Yeah, tell me what you think a scarcity mindset and then an abundance mindset is. It's okay if you don't know, just give me what you think.
Yeah, so with scarcity mindset, in my opinion, that means just like you're just in your mind, you just think that like you have to be like the kind of frugal you thinking, like scarcity low key?
Not frugal, but you think that there's a limited supply of money in the world.
Oh, okay, yeah. In abundance, you think it's just like it's a lot.
So there's a lot. There is trillions of dollars out there.
Yeah, and that's what, and it's crazy because that's what they make you think. They make you think that it ain't. No, they want you as a regular person to think there's no money out here.
Right.
Like you can't do nothing. Like
that's crazy. Me and Josh, we were just talking about this. Me, Josh, and Thomas, we just got lunch.
Yeah.
And we were talking, and one of them was saying that it is unfair for a lot of people nowadays because of the opportunity of how expensive everything is, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I hear you. Things are expensive now.
Yeah.
But also, there's so much opportunity.
Oh yeah, it's opportunity.
You have ChatGPT.
Yep.
You have any app. You got Uber. You got Turo. You have Airbnb.
Anything.
So like, yes, things are becoming more expensive, but there's more opportunities to make money now. Like,
yeah, that means you just kind of gotta open your eyes and just adapt.
Yeah.
Like you always got. I believe you
gotta
got
adapt
adaptability. That's something like
you have to.
all of you guys gonna have to, like, the thing is, this world ever changes, man. Like back 100 years ago, we probably wouldn't have thought that we'll have the same stuff we have now. So you gonna have to be able to adapt with the time. Like I know it's 40, 50-year-olds and everything like that. They having to get on social media now for the first time and start promoting their business. Mm-hmm. They're older, but they had to understand that this is the time we're in.
Yep.
And
that's the difference between staying in business.
Yep.
Because Bob, that swallows his pride to learn something new, to get on Facebook to market, versus Jim down the street who says, I'm not going to use that. Oh, y'all. Whenever Jim's business goes to the ground because he's not getting sales,
right,
he's going to be the one complaining, oh man, this is so hard out here. But Bob swallowed his pride and learned a new skill.
Yeah.
If you can't afford to hire another worker, get on ChatGPT.
Yeah, get on ChatGPT, man. Like,
there's so many different things. There's so many ways to make money nowadays.
Right.
There's so many excuses too, though.
There's so many excuses. Like, it's crazy. Like, the more ways they get to make money, the more ways of excuses they got. Mm-hmm. It's like you got 24 hours in the day. We had this conversation. Warren Buffett, he got 24 hours. Mm-hmm. Elon Musk, he got 24 hours.
And the thing is that most of the people, like, if you were to ask somebody that is broken, they're complaining about it. Well, what are you doing with your day?
Yeah.
I'll use this example. I'm not going to say any names, but at the bank, I had a client come in, and his credit score was really bad. Mm-hmm. Let's just say that. And he was like, yeah, man, I'm black, and then just went on a whole story about being black.
Yeah.
And then I'm thinking, okay, I hear you. I didn't, I'm thinking really in my head.
Thinking in your head, as he's speaking, yeah.
Like, so what about the black millionaires that are crushing it? Like, anyways, and then I was like, all right, I hear you. And then he kicked back, and he just kept spewing off excuses to why he wasn't where he wanted to be.
Right.
Man was like in his 40s, bro.
Yeah.
Like, he just had so many excuses.
Excuses, yeah. And that's how it be. Like, you living like that with excuses, you're not going to get far, bro. Yeah. There's no way.
Not.
Like, because you can make all the excuses in the world, but at the same time, like I said, you got the same 24 hours as everybody else. So, let's really just start diving in. At that point, you want to start complaining. Like, this is how I look at it. You want to start complaining to me, let's start diving into what you're doing with your time. Are you watching football games? Like, come on now, I know what y'all be doing, y'all. When we talk about you put the shirts on, they put the shirt with us. That's another story. A shirt with another man.
Well, Bedros, his name Bedros, cool. Yeah. He's got a good podcast. He's like, you'll sit around and throw on a $60 jersey.
$60 jersey.
Another man's name on your back.
Beer.
And every stat of this team, but you can't even go to your daughter's soccer practice.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
and you don't even, like, you ain't even repping your business.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Why don't you wear your shirt?
For your business.
If you cut grass, start an LLC and go to freaking Canva.
Yeah.
Make a little shirt for it instead of walking around with Brady or freaking Tyreek Hill on your back. That dude don't know you.
You don't own
that team.
You ain't making no money.
That's you don't
got stock in the team.
If you're an owner in the team, heck yeah, rip it.
Rip it, yeah. But you ain't making no money off of it. You taking your 24 hours and doing that.
Some dudes will pay $60 to $80 a month to watch 12 different football games on there,
and all that. Yep.
But say that they can't afford to buy stock.
That's insane.
It's like people go out and buy an iPhone. This is a 12.
Yeah.
They'll go out and buy an iPhone 15.
Yeah.
But can't put $1 into Apple stock on Robinhood, a free app, because it's risky.
It's risky, man.
What's risky is not taking risks.
Yeah. We had a conversation about that. I need you to elaborate on that. What's risky is not taking
risks. The risk of not taking risk is mediocrity. It is relying on the government for Social Security whenever you're older. That junk might dry up at any time.
And it's crazy, we might not even have that when we get older.
We might not even have it.
We might not even have it. So that's out the picture. So next one.
So that's just the thing. So it's like, pretty much in my opinion, if you're not taking smart calculated risks, you're letting other people decide your destiny for you. Every smart risk you take is a step in the direction that for the person that you want to be.
Right.
So like if you're not taking risk, you're not, you don't open that business, 5 years go by, you've got all these excuses. Well, you're pretty much fulfilling someone else's dream. Essentially.
And like that's honestly the reality. If you're working for somebody, you're gonna fulfill somebody else's dream. So do you want to fulfill somebody else's dream for the rest of your life that you're here, or do you want to fulfill your own dreams? I know every one of us, we have our own dreams. Like some of you might like to work in a company, but you might want to move up and become like a higher rep in the company. That's okay too, but you gotta follow your dreams. Don't just sit there and be complacent and just try to, fulfill somebody else's dream your whole life. That's not satisfying. I know if you guys are watching this podcast, you already taking a big step because you already had the entrepreneur mindset in you. So that's one of the things I suggest, like just working to follow your dreams, because you got to take risks. We just discussed that. You got to, but it got to be smart, calculated risk. Make sure it makes sense. Don't do nothing crazy. Don't throw your life savings in anything. Don't do that. But take small, calculated risks and just start working towards your goals. I feel like, honestly, if you do that, you'll be 10 times ahead of the game.
Yeah. Warren Buffett's number one rule of investing: don't lose money.
Right.
And then number 2 is see number 1. Honestly.
That's crazy.
So, so we talked about faith. We haven't talked about family.
We haven't talked about family or fitness yet.
Or fitness. Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about fitness and family.
Okay, so
let's start off with family.
Let's start with family. Yeah.
Okay, so let's start off with the family unit.
Yeah.
Right. So, what do you think gender roles?
Oh, okay. This might be a little spicy.
So I believe that I'll just go ahead and start.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
So, we could talk about my cousin and my aunt and my grandma and everything, but I think it's important as young men to start talking about the family in terms of you and your wife.
Yep.
And then your family that you create, because that's going to be the family that's really most important to you.
Most important is going to be your wife and the one that you create.
Especially as believers, because we believe that, you put your wife, God, then your wife.
Yeah, that's it.
So first of all, if you're a man and you're not putting your wife before your business and your friends, you're not a real man.
I wholeheartedly agree.
I said on my story the other day that many men devote their life to achieving wealth and riches just to lose half of their net worth in a divorce.
And it's crazy.
Yeah, versus now let's say you get to $1 million by the time you're 40, versus, and now you get knocked down to 500,000. Well, the guy that's 30 at 500,000, well, now you just got knocked down to him, and he's got a happy family. Because he's he's balanced
and everything like that, and you did it, you had divorce and everything. That's half your network gone.
Yeah, so let's priorities: faith, family, fitness. Finance is on the back end of all this.
Yeah, finances. Really, he's right. It's really on the back end of everything. The other things are pretty much
it don't matter how much money you make if you got a heart attack and you die.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
If you ain't taking care of yourself, who cares? If you can't wake up and walk around, and if you can't breathe, then who cares if you got $1 billion?
I'm gonna say money's not the most important thing here. If you read the Bible, you understand that money is not and also God is gonna take care of you. He ain't gonna let you not. If you believe in Him, God, His chosen people, the ones that believe in Him, they're gonna have.
Look at Abraham.
Yeah.
God, bro. If you read Genesis, it's crazy. Every so often, God would just bless Abraham with livestock, silver, and gold. And they said he was a very wealthy man, which is okay to be wealthy. We already talked about that.
Yeah, it's okay to be wealthy.
Especially if you're...
God wants you to be... You do it the right... He wants you to do it in the right way.
Yeah, God... I feel like God wants us to be wealthy.
He wants...
Let me rephrase it. I feel like God wants certain people to be wealthy because... I feel like there are certain people who are called to be wealthy.
Yeah, certain people are called to be wealthy, and some people get their wealth from other sources.
Right, so like, well, if you look at God's calling on someone like Paul. Yeah. Paul necessarily wasn't meant to be wealthy. He was meant to be a missionary and go out and spread the word, and he kind of survived off of the goodwill of others versus someone like Abraham. Well, God, he was the father of a nation, so God provided him with all of this wealth to like kickstart, you know, and Joseph as well, you know, and then if we go to like, let's say the modern day, I feel like if there's someone out there who is a good steward of their finances and, you know, they are making the world a better place, giving to charities and all these different things like that, well, I feel like God might want that person to be wealthy maybe a little bit more than the missionary or the pastor who's out there in the field, who maybe God's gifts, because God gave every one of us gifts. Maybe God gave that pastor, his gift was speech and connecting with people. And maybe God gave this guy a gift of finance, which is, you know, he gave them the knowledge of finances and all these things like that. And I believe if you use your gifts for good, that is really what it's all about.
And that's what he wants you to do with it. He wants you to use them for good, not for bad. It's a lot of temptations out here. This modern world we live in, like, it's just all the wrong things are like out there in front of you. But if you use your gifts, like you said, because some people might be good at speaking, some people might need the finances to help these charities and everything out. Like, God gives, like, I feel like each and every one of us has a divine purpose. Like, I feel like once you go through your life, you start realizing what it is, but don't run from it. That's why I said, once you know what your purpose is, you got to follow it. And like I said, do it in the right way and figure out how it plays into the word and everything like that. And do it that way. Don't just do it how the word wants you to do it. Like, if they say like, for example, you want to be a musician. Like, and I feel, that's just something I do feel bad about, like how Christian musicians, they don't get a lot of spotlight. And it's crazy because they be sounding, like you said, they be sounding as good as the other rappers, but they don't get a lot of spotlight because of what they're talking about.
It's because the world, bro. And you know what? Spotlight, it's probably a good thing. Yeah. Let me rephrase it. I should say that compared to someone, let's say, like Taylor Swift.
They don't be at the top.
Like Drake or something like that. Like, think about how a lot of people in society get to where they are. Right. It's usually by unethical things.
Most of them do. Like, the people that's at the top, like those industries and all that.
Like, a lot of them, they glorify the wrong things.
They glorify the wrong thing. Look at what they talk about in their music all the time. Like, okay, we all gonna, like, it's cool to listen to sometimes, but at the same time, you gotta understand, the stuff they glorify is not God. God does not. The stuff they talk about, all they talk about is drugs, sex, and like. No,
it's the enemy.
It's the enemy. That's all it is.
And on this earth, this is kind of his territory.
It is his territory.
You know, so
it is. Yeah, it is.
So you got to think that society's gonna celebrate those negative things.
Right, and that's crazy. Like, I feel like we, as people, we do that now. Like, we don't celebrate the bad stuff. We glorify it. The good stuff. If somebody talks about God and come out talking about that doesn't get celebrated enough. But somebody doing good in the world, it doesn't get celebrated enough. We want to talk about, oh, this person is dating this person. Like, that's what we care about. Like, this drama, this person hit this person. Like,
what a shame.
It's crazy how society has got it, but at the same time, you control you. Yeah. And that's the thing I love about this. Like, God gave us all free will, so we control us. Yeah. And everybody else is like, you kind of gotta let them do what they do. We got free will.
Yeah, well, gender roles, though, like we were talking about with family, I would say that it's situational.
It is situational because everybody got different situations. But at the same time, like, I do believe that men and women have their own specific roles, like, not in no misogynist way, but I feel like, you know, men, like, we are protectors and providers. I still like, I wholeheartedly believe that.
Naturally,
like, naturally, yeah. Now, sometimes I know, like, times are hard nowadays. Sometimes you might need two people to work.
Right. And women are those things too.
Yeah.
And women are also providers and protectors as well.
Yeah, elaborate on that, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I was just going to say that, but I would say a lot of the time, men just physically can be better protectors. Yeah, physically. Because I'm bigger and stronger than most women. Yeah. That's just how it is.
That's how it is, yeah.
That is, you know, you take 100 men and you take 100 women and you tell them to protect something, well, science dictates that the men are going to do a better job at physically protecting.
Right.
That's just how we are wired. We are bigger and stronger.
Right.
So we are naturally better protectors. We have more testosterone.
Right.
We are more aggressive. So, we're also a lot more hyper aware and hyper vigilant about things, especially military men. So, there's a lot more men in the military.
A lot more men in the military.
So, which is a protecting industry.
Right. Police force.
Right. And then on the feminine side of things, women are generally better, I would say, caretakers.
Caretaker, yeah.
And they're more nurturing.
Nurturing, yeah.
If you have a little boy that is raised by, a dad and no mom, he's gonna lack a lot of empathy.
A lot of empathy.
Like for me, for example, I was raised by my mom and my grandparents, but mostly my mother. And of course, my grandparents raised me a lot too. But my mom I didn't have a dad growing up. Long story short. So I'm very empathetic, almost sometimes to a fault to where sometimes I'm not assertive enough because I don't want to step on people's toes and hurt people's feelings. I've gotten better about that. The military's helped me out with that. But I didn't have that father figure in my life to teach me how to be assertive, and sometimes you have to be dominant in a situation.
Right, and I agree with that.
So me and Rashed had to teach ourselves how to do that.
Essentially, we had to because speaking on the family thing, the 2-person household, I recommend you guys, if you're starting a family, I recommend trying to keep it in a 2-person household. The reason why, because I don't care how you look at it, if a mom raises a kid, you're gonna lack some of the masculine things. So
and then vice versa.
If a dad raised you, you're gonna lack some of the empathy and stuff. So you gotta look at it like that. Cause like I said, me and him, we basically had to kind of figure it out on our own. That's pretty much what it was. I had to it was times I got used by people because I didn't want to be just as assertive to people and tell them I don't like what you're doing.
There's such thing as being too nice.
Yeah, because that's why I learned from being raised by my mom. But like I said, I love my mom. She did a great job with what she had. But at the same time, you lack certain things that you can only get from one side. So that's why I said the 2-person household is critical. Looking from a biblical standpoint, like you said, it's God and your wife.
Yeah,
it starts there.
Yeah, and it's shown that a young man without a father has a much higher probability of turning to crime.
Right. Yeah.
Whenever there's no father in the household, because I know me and my brothers, we would go out and do whatever the heck we wanted because my mom was too busy working to discipline us.
Right.
I didn't care about grades or none of that junk in high school. I was doing whatever I wanted, living life I wanted because I didn't have a dad to smack me in the back of the head.
Yeah, back of the head and tell you, nah, man, that's wrong. Don't do that. Yeah, don't.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And there's a super offshoot, but there was actually a really crazy study they did, and I'm not trying to compare us to elephants or anything, but elephants are really smart, and they did a study where in the zoo they had one group of young adolescent elephants without their fathers around, and then the other group of adolescent elephants that actually had fathers, and then the group without fathers, the little elephants, always fought each other. They were rowdy. There was a lot more incidents with them roughing up the zookeepers, and they were always trying to escape. They were just acting a fool. Versus the elephants with fathers, they were very well behaved. And I know it sounds very crazy, but that actually translates over.
Yeah, it does
to people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So having both people there, it just makes you better overall.
Yeah, and if you don't have a mom, you're gonna lack a lot.
Yeah, that's what I said. Cause some people be thinking, oh, y'all just talking about with dads. No, it's the same way if you don't have a mom. You lose the empathy side. It's a lot of affection. Certain things, certain characteristics you only get from one parent.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that family is one of the most important things. You have to have that structure because just think about it. And also if you come from these broken households like me and him do, you don't want to have the next generation of kids that you bring to the world to have that. So like I said, I encourage, being there, try to do something. Read the Bible. Read it. It shows you how you should interact with your wife.
Invest in your marriage.
Yeah, invest in your marriage. Like I said, you gotta, and it's also a lot of people look at relationships you gotta be connected, man. You gotta be work together. It's still
it's work.
For example, you married.
Yeah.
when you get married, it's not like it don't stop,
It's
man.
work,
Like you
bro.
still gonna have to work.
There's more work now to be done.
That's why I said it's still gonna be like every relationship has problems, but
Yeah.
you gotta be able to talk through it, especially when you decide to get married to somebody. Like you really gonna have to, okay, this is your perspective, this is my perspective. Now we can find a way to meet in the middle.
You gotta
Like
put
I
each
said,
other first.
You gotta put each other first. If you're not gonna do that.
Yeah. A lot of people will put their family before their spouse. They'll put friends.
Finances, like some people,
Finances,
yeah,
their business before their spouse, their friends before their spouse.
Yeah.
And a lot of men make the excuse about putting their business before their spouse if they're really working hard for. A lot of the times, as a wife, a good woman, generally, from my short time on this earth, I've observed, especially in my wife, she would rather have my time, not my money.
Right.
She would rather spend time with me instead of, me. If you were to take a poll of 100 women, that have, sound mental health and they're just good women, and you were to ask them, would you prefer your husband to work 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, and y'all make, 6 figures and be very well off, but you never see him, you barely spend any time with him, but you have all these cool materialistic things? Or would you rather have a husband that works hard and provides for y'all, and y'all aren't super rich or anything, but y'all get to spend time together and do all of these, community events and give back and spend time with family and work out and do all these things that are good for the human soul?
Yeah.
I think almost all women.
Oh yeah, that's at the time.
The only women that would say the other, that would say they'd rather have the guy that with a bunch of money and no time, they really aren't after the guy, they're after the money.
They're after the money.
And then also, a lot of men will use that as an excuse. It's an ego thing. A man that can go out and dominate the workplace and make all this money and rank up and promotions and all these things and crush it in his business. It's an ego thing. Yeah. A lot of the time it's an illusion. He's tricking himself that he's doing it for his family. Yeah. Whenever he's really doing it for his ego. Next thing you know, the family's not there. Yep. The wife takes half of the income. Now you see your kids only on the weekends. Was it worth it, man?
Was it worth it?
What if your business, what if a competitor opens up a new software or a new location and now your business runs into the ground? Was it worth it? What if you lose everything in the stock market? It's crazy how people's priorities.
Yeah, and that's what it is. Like with family and everything, it's just prioritizing. Like I said, you can't put all this other stuff before that. Cause like I said, it's God, then that. As your family, you gotta work at that, man. Like that's my advice I got to you guys. Just be able to work at it, be able to find out like what's the problem that they have, the problem that you have, and you solve it together. Like you're a team. You're not, especially when you get married. Not you. It's not you and them separate. Y'all a team. So that's how that works and everything like that. Then after that, your immediate family. Then you got the rest of it and everything again.
And then we should talk about fitness too.
Yeah, fitness. So. I mean, like, in my personal opinion, like I said, fitness is very important. It plays a lot in just your everyday well-being, everything like that. Like, as far as like being in the gym, I can just speak on that. Man, you can you get time to think in there. Like, you can get like, and it also just like helps you with every facet of your life. Like, if you get disciplined and go to the gym, I seen a post the other day. They said, man, y'all strong if y'all can go to the gym after work. Like, they literally say like it's a weird thing for you to do to go, like that's what people are saying. It's a weird thing to go to the gym after work. They say they don't have time to do it. Like that's what they're saying. And my thing is like it only takes like 30 minutes to an hour maybe to go to the gym. If you telling me
you could just work out in your room.
Yeah, and like I said, like you could dumbbells or something, or even body weight, bro.
I feel like I could get a better workout in at my room than most people who are at the gym.
That's what I'm saying. And it's crazy. So a lot of people do say that like they don't have time, and it's like, I mean, it's priorities, like I said, and it falls back into the thing we were just talking about, priorities. Like, literally, if your priorities in the wrong place, like I said, I'm gonna ask you the same thing I told you last time. I'm gonna ask you, so where's your time going? You watching football? What you doing with your time to why you can't go to the gym? Cause 30 minutes, you could go right after work, you could go before work. Not a lot. So, since we saying that, I can go ahead and tell you this story. So, like I said, we'll run a marathon. It was insane. We did a lot of crazy stuff doing it. Like, I was just telling him and one of my other buddies this. So, we was running a marathon. I was working, right? I was on a night shift. So, I was working from 7 p.m. to 3:45. he will sleep, so we don't work out till 5 in the morning. Sometimes I was on night shift. I stayed up from 3:45 to 5 to work out with him, run 10 miles, then go to sleep, then go to work the next day. Like, it's more or less priorities. Like, if you really trying to do something, I knew, like, hey, I had to do this training for this marathon. If I didn't do the training, my marathon would be sacrificed. I wasn't going to run it. Mm-hmm. So, in order for me to do that, I had to prioritize in the moment. Like I said, it's been times we run in the woods, dark, lights, no light out there, flashlights gone, phones dead, we running like...
No water, no snacks.
Yeah, and like, bro, and it's a crazy feat we done. We ran like almost 20 miles.
No, we ran 22 that day.
It was 22?
Yeah, we ran 22 that day.
I didn't even think about that. It was 22 miles. We had like... It was
before the marathon.
Before the marathon, which we wasn't supposed to do. We didn't figure it out till later on that we wasn't.
You were only supposed to train up to 20.
Yeah, you don't supposed to train that hard. So we ran 22 before a marathon. We was in the woods. We started like in the evening time. I think it was evening. It got dark, and then like, you know, I was trying to get out the woods. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes like we do get separated because you know start cramping or hurting or something. So my phone died. His phone died. Headphone died.
We were so dumb we didn't bring any water.
And then we didn't have any water. And that's the crazy thing about it.
I don't know why we did that.
When you train, you gotta like stay hydrated. And like I said, I didn't know because this is my first time running something like this. We didn't know at the moment.
I thought I could drink a bunch of water before to be hydrated.
Yeah, that's what I did too.
But no, the thing is, well, we started in the morning.
Yeah.
And then it lasted us till the evening.
Oh yeah, it did take us a couple hours to do that.
We started in like around noonish, I think.
Yeah,
we started around noon.
Yeah, we didn't get done about 7 or something, but it was getting dark early, so I think it was getting dark like 5 something. So we probably got done at 6 or 7. So yeah, like I was saying, like we running, then like on the and let me tell you something about running like that. When the phone die, when you got when you out there running with somebody, it's different because you got somebody to talk to. But you out there by yourself, you ain't got no headphones, this or nothing like that, man. It just everything is telling you to stop, like, and then right then it was a scary moment because like we was like in the woods, like, it's a trail in the woods, and it's just like dark on this side, dark on this side. You don't know if animals in there or what. So if you stop, you don't know what's gonna come out the woods, bro. Like you don't know. Like I don't think it'll be a bear, anything can run out. Get over here, get over here, snatch you up, do some Mortal Kombat. Get over here. Yeah, so like you had to make sure you ran and got out. So I didn't stop. And it's like no water, you're dehydrated, no music, no nothing. I couldn't even like. If you looking back, I did not see him. So I knew he was running, but I didn't want to run back because if I run back, it was gonna prolong me from getting out the woods.
Exactly.
So yeah, we kept on running out and everything like that, and man, it was tough. It was a tough time, man. We did some tough feats, and then even the marathon, like you was cramping up one time, didn't it? Yeah. During the marathon, like you was all finna stop, like. During things like that, it's hard. Like as hard as people say it is, if you really put your mind to it, you can do it. Mm-hmm. Like we've been training for a triathlon right now, and then like people say you don't got time for stuff, man. We've been fitting it in like after we get off work, we go train, we swim. Like that's why, and that's basically the thing I want to tell you about fitness. Don't never say you don't have time because we work full-time job, we got side businesses we do. Like we're constantly out here moving. So if it's somebody that should say we don't have time, we should be the one saying that. But we're telling you, we got 30 minutes, 45 minutes or hour to work out.
Well, fitness gives you time.
It does give you time.
Because think about it, if you don't have time for fitness, well, if you have a heart attack and die at 50 years old, which is a common thing.
Yeah.
Well, there goes half your life.
That's what I'm saying.
So you didn't have time for fitness.
Right.
Like, now you don't have time for anything.
Fitness just helps everything, bro. I think it boosts your confidence too, bro.
It does.
Like, if you in shape, man, like I ain't gonna lie, since I got in shape, man, like I finally could see a 6-pack, I was like, man, I'm the man.
I'm the man, yeah.
Like you feel good, like being in shape, and like you can see your body just like transform, and it's like it's great, man. Like I said, it just helps you in every part of your life, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, and it's important, like because if you get 50, like you don't want to just like have a heart attack, so you gotta keep it. You gotta keep your body in check. Watch what you put in, and nutrition is important too. That's one thing I will say about fitness. Nutrition is one of the most important things. Like beyond if you working out, you gotta have the nutrition part, which I'm still working on, guys. And it's discipline. Like I say, it teaches you a lot of discipline in everything in your life. Like if you can go to the gym, if you can eat right, which thing will happen in your business, bro? Yeah. Your business is gonna see the same type of thing. You'll be like, okay, well I gotta block time. If I block time off of this gym, I need to block time off to work on my business. I need to do this. I need to do that. Yeah, so I feel like fitness is a very great thing for like everybody do. I think everybody do, no matter gender or anything. I think it's a great thing for your mind, your body, and your soul.
Yeah, I heard a quote one time: "Fitness is the gateway drug to success."
I believe it.
You know, so like it's once you start getting fit, you start getting right with your body and everything. It overflows into other parts of your life. You know, and if you are not fit, you are doing a disservice to your partner.
True.
How
you gonna protect if you're not fit?
Oh, especially as a man.
Yeah, like think about it.
Especially as a man, but like let's say your wife is working hard to stay fit. She's going to the gym and all this stuff, and you're being sloppy and lazy, and let's say there's this good-looking young dude at work who's fit. Don't get mad at her whenever she starts looking at him. Yeah. Because she's human. We're all human.
Yeah.
Don't call her out of her name because of that,
and you being a couch potato eating Doritos.
Right. Right. So, you're pretty much doing a disservice. Fitness isn't all about you. It's great for yourself. Yeah. But you are prolonging your life so that you get to see your grandkids and your great-grandkids, and so that you can protect them and provide for them, and so that you can be happier, more alert, and more present around.
I also think people respect you more when they see you fit.
They 100% respect
you. People know, okay, well, you put the grind in.
I personally, it's hard for me to respect a out of shape leader.
Yeah, like say somebody that's out of shape that comes try to tell you something.
Well, that was one thing about the Navy. So the Marines is they're better about they're better about fitness, but the Navy has very low personal fitness standards. It's disgusting. So there was fat chiefs and stuff, and I'm just like, this dude who's out of shape is sitting here trying to yell at us and tell us some stuff that's not even correct. Yeah. And this guy hasn't worked out with us in months. He skips all the workouts. He eats like garbage. He doesn't carry himself like a leader. He's not respectable. I could take him down in 10 seconds. Yeah. I'm supposed to respect you. You're not a leader. And they would just try to tell us these things. And where was I going with this? Fat leaders don't command a whole lot of respect. Yeah. But you're in war, dude. If we go to war, which we're training to do. I remember one time we were on the grinder, the parking lot area where we all meet up. Yeah. And this big old potbelly guy is like, we're getting ready for war with China and Russia. Y'all need to be on y'all stuff. Yeah. And all this stuff. And I'm thinking, bro, if you get shot in the leg, you're now a liability. You're a liability for the people that are supposed to carry you. That's why I said fitness isn't all about you. Now you are putting us at a disadvantage because now we have to carry 200 extra pounds of laziness because you want to sit around and gorge yourself, and Joe Rogan calls it mouth porn. Mouth porn. Think about it. You eat something sweet, it tastes good, then it's gone. Right. The lasting effects, it's like the tip of an iceberg. So the good taste is here, and then everything else is down here. All the negativity is down at the bottom of that iceberg. So I could talk about that all day. But I think fitness is a selfless thing to do. Yeah. Whenever you're fit, it's a commandment to take care of yourself.
Yeah, to take care of yourself.
Jesus was probably ripped. He was a carpenter that walked miles and hiked and did all this cool stuff in the desert. Dude, Jesus was probably jacked. Yeah. He worked with his hands.
He probably was, yeah.
Bro, Paul, all those dudes, they walked hundreds of miles. They were getting after it. Right. It is biblical, and it is the right thing to do to take care of your body. David was probably an absolute unit. And if you look at a lot of leaders, look at Zuckerberg. He does jiu-jitsu.
Jiu-jitsu, yeah.
He's a shredded guy. Look at Bezos, he's a pretty shredded guy. Elon Musk, he has some work to do on his body. Dude, Alex Hormozy is an absolute unit.
Yeah, he's a unit.
You command respect whenever you take care of yourself because you show that you respect yourself. How can you expect someone to respect you if you can't respect yourself? Right.
I agree. Bro.
And if you're fit, whenever you walk into a room, you have influence, you have a presence about you. Yeah. Especially if you're jacked.
Oh yeah, you're jacked. Yeah, people notice it. Even me, I'm walking in the room, people say, man, are you an athlete? Have you ever did anything like that? I said, yeah, I ran a marathon. Oh snap, people respect you, man. It's an unspoken thing, but if somebody works out, they put the grind just like you. So you know they block out time to do it, and they put the work in. So yeah, I mean I think that's pretty much it, bro. I think we summed up a lot for you guys. In this video here, you guys got a backstory on us. You guys learned about the 4 F's, and over the course of these videos we do, we're going to explain that more. We're going to be
bringing people in,
you know, doing an interview. Like, it's going to be a lot of different things you guys are going to see here. We're going to be talking about just like a lot of things that are going on in the world, religious topics. Like, bro, it's going to be a lot. And like I said, I'm glad you guys are going to be here for the journey, because this is going to be something great right here. And I want you guys to see it from the start to the top.
Yeah. So we'll label each video.
Yeah, we'll label each video
as of one of the F's. So like if we're talking about finance, we'll put finance, and then we'll put real estate, or investing, or anything like that. And if we're talking about faith or family or anything, like, we'll label it so y'all have an idea when scrolling through. And okay, cool, I want to learn this. We're gonna interview millionaires on this podcast.
Yeah, millionaires.
We know millionaires. Yeah. We're gonna interview preachers. We're gonna interview people from all walks of life.
Right.
To sit down and talk about the 4 F's. Yeah. Values and ethics.
Right. So yeah, like I said, it's gonna be a great journey, guys. I hope to see you all here along with us on the journey. So we're getting up out of here. You guys be safe, peace out, and enjoy a very blessed rest of your day.